coming to you, and you can probably tell already from the noise. We are coming to you from the Pinheads Bowling Alley. Of course, Pinheads located right here on Jones Avenue in Oak Hill, and we appreciate the ownership here allowing us to come in and do our show from the bowling alley tonight. We've got a good crowd in here, lots of young kids. That's pretty cool to see. Lots of little kids in here bowling, and sadly they can all out bowl me. So I'm terrible at this game.
I would hate to see what my shoulder would feel like the next day after bowling.
I'll say this, probably I'm gonna guess 10 years ago, we ended up at the Greenbrier for some reason, getting to stay up there, and they have a bowling alley there in the Greenbrier. So we decided to go down that night, bowl some games, you know. And the next day, I was so sore I couldn't move my shoulder, my knees, and that's the last time I bowled. That'll probably be the last time I will bowl.
Yeah.
I could walk up there, I guess, and just kind of lay the ball down and push it.
Yeah.
And with me, I'd do just as well that way as I would regular bowling, because I don't know how to bowl. I used to bowl a lot when I was in college. But that's 40 years ago. So haven't done that for a long time. Anyway, we are at Pinheads tonight, and again, we appreciate Pinheads for allowing us to come in here. Really a neat place, and if you haven't been here, it's been a while since I've been here. I was here at a birthday party not long ago, but neat place. It got really good food. You don't have to be a bowler to come in here. You can come in here and eat, have a cold drink, whatever you want, and I say they got all kind of beer on tap. They got sodas, and it looks like they got some craft beer there in the coolers. So you don't have to be a bowler to come in here. You can come in and eat and just enjoy the atmosphere. Like I said, a lot of young kids in here bowling right now, and I see some adults having dinner. So you gotta give it a shot. Come on in and give it a try. Good place. And a great atmosphere.
Yeah, another good little local business as well.
That's right. Yep. Got some nice local business. You know, a lot of folks don't. You know, one of the things I think people don't often think about is, hey, let's go bowling tonight. You know, you don't hear a lot of that. It used to be you did. Now you don't, and that's why it's good to see these young kids, because maybe it's getting cranked up again. I can remember.
Yeah, definitely a good little family. Atmosphere is what's going on tonight.
Yeah, and you don't have to be an athlete. You don't have to be a bowler. I mean, anybody can pick up a ball and throw it down that alley, you know. I think they even got the little side things they put up
the
on
bumpers.
The kids.
I might need the bumpers.
I bowl like that now. I can throw some ricochet shots. But, neat thing to do. So you gotta take advantage of it. Cool little place. And like I said, the food is outstanding, and the atmosphere is good. Everybody in here having a good time, and we appreciate the opportunity to come in, and we appreciate the opportunity to promote one of our local businesses. We always like to do that, and that's part of the process here, and part of what we're trying to do is, not only focus attention on our high school athletes and our local schools, but also on the local businesses. And that's why we try to change it up and go to some different places every week. We try to switch it up as much as we can. So if any businesses out there and you're interested in having us, we don't take up a lot of room. I think we got one table, and then we got a little bench here in the corner that me and Dave sat behind. So we don't take up a whole lot of room, and we get out to a whole lot of people. So if your business is interested, just let us know, and we'll be glad to come. We're not we don't care. We go anywhere.
Yeah.
We've been to Studio B, we've been to Gino's, we've been to 110 Cafe. So we've gotten around, done some different places. So give us a call. Call Darren or call me. We'd be happy to come to your place of business and give you some love and show the place. We won't show any of your patrons on TV unless they just come up and say, we want to be on TV. Then we'll put them on. But we won't show anybody on TV that don't want to be on TV. We don't do anything like that. So like I said, if you want and it doesn't matter what kind of business it is. It don't matter if it's a bowling alley, if it's a restaurant, the art shop, like Studio B was, that was fine. We don't care what kind of business it is. We'll be happy to come there and do the show and promote your business. So just give us a yell sometime, and we'll be there. Again, the show, we like to focus on high school sports, high school athletes, and we like to recognize their accomplishments. We in our area, they don't often get the love that they deserve. And for years, Dave, our players locally here would get overlooked for all-state teams and things like that unless they made a state tournament. Yeah. Then they got exposed a little bit and got to be seen by people, and then they would make it. And what we're trying to do is get them a little bit of love now, get them out there and get them exposed a little bit, because today with the internet, you can watch this anywhere. So anybody in the country, anybody in the world for that matter, can see us. And I'm not saying they will, but I'm saying they could. So it's not a bad thing to get our kids recognized and noticed. So we'll talk about our athlete of the week this week. I don't even think you know who it is, but we'll give a surprise.
Super surprise.
There you go. We'll do that here in just a little bit. We choose every week an athlete of the week. Somebody's had a good performance in something. And again, don't make any difference if it's a basketball player, a soccer player, a volleyball player, a cheerleader, a band member. It doesn't matter to us. If you've got somebody you want to nominate for the athlete of the week, let us know, and their name will be put in for consideration. And actually, we like to spread the love around as much as we can. And Geno's is kind enough to sponsor that, and they take care of the kids. They give them a free pizza, I think a little free gift from Tudor's Biscuit World. Get a nice little certificate, and then again, get some recognition and love. So if you have anybody that you want to nominate for that, you can shoot me a text message or get on our Facebook page and comment on there with a name. If you'd like to nominate somebody, we'll gladly, like I said, take their name and put them in for consideration. My number is 304-640-5616. You can text me, you can call me, whatever you want to do. If you have comments about the show, or you have an idea about the show, somebody you'd like to have on, let me know. We'll get a hold of them some way.
Yeah.
I've tracked people down already. Don't mean I got them on, but I tracked them down. I found Kevin Pittsnoggle, but he had just turned down an interview with the Philadelphia Inquirer.
Well,
so needless to say, he turned me down too. But I did find him. Took me a while, but I found him. But if you got an idea of somebody you'd like to see on the show or like to have us interview, we don't often bring people in just because of our space issues and microphone things and that sort of thing. We've had some live interviews, and we'll have some more with the kids. We like to do that. Oftentimes hard to get the adults because these people are spread all over the place, and a lot of the people we've had on in the past, they're in Morgantown and Pittsburgh and everywhere else under the sun, so not feasible for them to come in. So we'll do them by phone. So if you, like I said, if you have somebody you'd be interested in seeing on the show or listening to, let us know. Tonight we're going to look at some of our local scores, of course, of interest. We're going to look at the girls and boys AP top 10 in each class. We're going to check out some scores from last night. And we are going to talk a little bit about the West Virginia Hometown Invitational Tournament, which has their championship weekend tonight and tomorrow night. And we want to talk a little bit about that. We originally had planned on having Tom Sears, the head coach at South Harrison, on tonight. Actually, Wednesday night. We thought we were going to do the show Wednesday. Darren had something come up, so we moved it to tonight. And Coach Sears has a game tonight, so he's not able to join us. But I was able to send him the questions that I was planning on asking him about the hit, and he was kind enough to send me back the answers.
Okay.
I also stuck him with the shooting the three questions as well.
That's good.
And he answered those. And I told him he had to keep his own time and he had to be honest, and he only had 30 seconds. So we'll look at his answers. We'll probably be able to judge from his answers whether or not spur of the moment or whether he took some time to sort out the answers beforehand. So we'll have all of the interview stuff with Tom Sears. Again, you'll have to listen to me or you do it because he sent me the answers since he couldn't be on the night. Again, we had him scheduled for Wednesday night, had to cancel him out and moved him to the night, and then they have their hit tournament game tonight, so he's playing ball tonight. So we'll catch up with him probably next week after the tournament's over, see how everything went. It's really a cool event, and I was a big part of it when it started, and I try to stay up with it and keep track of what's going on. They booted me out as president of the organization because I never would go to the meetings. I never could go to the meetings. It seemed like I was always having to miss, so I was ousted. But that's okay because I wasn't coaching anymore, and it's hard, when you're not coaching, it's hard to stay involved with a lot of this stuff, And since I wasn't coaching anymore, I
said adios.
Got out of the way. Yep, they excommunicated.
Handed the reins to
Headed the reins to Tom Wamsley, and he does a fantastic.
He's still in it.
Yep.
Still in it.
Still doing it.
That's Coach of Taggart's Valley, if people were wondering.
Yeah, if anybody's wondering, that's and what a fine guy too. Heck of a fella.
Yeah, I remember that one time we played. This was when I think this was the first year I was at Fayetteville, and we played Taggart's Valley in the thing in the tournament.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Tom's still involved, heavily involved, and he's still coaching and still teaching. And Tom's a fine fellow, and he works really hard, and he's worked super hard on this HIT tournament. And so anyway, I enjoyed sending those questions to Tom and then getting these responses. I've talked to him several times over the last 3 or 4 days, and Tom Sears, that is. And, he got some good insight from him and some good information about the HIT. So we'll talk about that here in our next segment after we go to a break. If time permits, we got some other things going on that we want to talk a little bit about. We've got the girls sectional tournament. It cranks up next week. And, again, everybody dealing with these COVID issues, you don't know how this thing's going to pan out. And, we talked before we went on the air, a lot of these teams, it looks like now, are deciding to maybe call the dogs until the sectional tournament starts in boys. I've noticed several teams have said we're done until sectionals. I don't know if that's because they have COVID issues or if they want to avoid COVID issues. It sounds like maybe they want to avoid the COVID issues and be healthy for the sectional tournament, because if you get a case or two before the sectionals and you have to quarantine, you're out. You're done.
Yeah, we learned somebody that we were supposed to play next week is already calling for the regular season. I've seen today it was Morgantown University boys is doing the same thing too.
Well, I also saw today that Polka is rolling it up until section. I think Polka had, I think they actually had some COVID cases. So they've decided they've got a quarantine, so they're shutting down until sectional tournament time. And now it's getting pretty close to the cutoff line. If you go into next week, your quarantine, if you get 10, 14 days, whatever it is, that might run right into your sectional. So you could be finished. So a lot of them don't want to take that chance, which I kind of get. But at the same time, like you guys, for example, what have y'all played? 8 games?
Played 8 games.
Yeah, you played 8 games, and I mean,
and we were thinking 12, just playing 12 would be not enough.
And you scheduled kind of lightly that way. Only schedule 12, thinking, well, we'll get these 12 in, and at least be 12.
Yeah.
If we have to make up 1 or 2, maybe we can. But like you guys got canceled out Tuesday, and I know Coach Jackson said he tried everybody in the state and just could not get a game. And you already know about Greenbrier East, so I'm sure he's working on trying to find somebody to play next week as well. And for the kids' sake, I don't I mean, I know everybody wants to win a championship and that sort of thing, but you look at a season like this. And a lot like football. I mean, they end up crowning a champion after the semifinals. I mean, I know it's a championship. I understand that, but at the same time, is that really that rewarding? To take one like that. And in basketball, if you're the one team in your region that's healthy, you get to go to the state tournament because you're healthy. I mean, I understand everybody wants to win one, but at the same time, I'm looking, like in our situation, I want Sammy to play games. I want him to get as many games in as they can. Because you may roll it up now and get into sectional tournaments, you might get beat the first night. So instead of playing 4 games, you end up playing 1 and you're done. So go ahead and play. Go ahead and play and try to get in as many as you can. I mean, I feel like if the way things are going right now, if you're going to get the coronavirus, you're probably going to get it. I mean, it seems like that's happening no matter how well. We're not. I was going to say no matter how safe we're being, but I don't think we're being real safe anymore. I think everybody's kind of figured it's over, so kind of everybody's relaxing a little bit because we got vaccines now, and
starting to get warm again.
Yeah, starting to get warm again, and the mask mandates, the restaurant capacities, all that kind of stuff is kind of eased up. So I think people have the impression that it's over. And I hate to bring this up, but at the ball game last night, I don't know if you noticed the crowd or not. Sometimes coaches don't notice that, but pretty hefty crowd.
Yeah, it was a good crowd last night.
Yeah, it was. For all intent and purposes, that one side was full. I mean, there was a few empty spots, but not many. And,
I was asking. It was somebody, parent Woodrow, what it was like over at Greenbrier East Tuesday. And if you remember when we played at Greenbrier East, they had the stands pushed back behind the benches.
Right.
You guys could only sit behind the basket. They had the home fans across the court. But it looked like they had the student section up on the stage.
Yep.
The stands they sat behind
Yep,
Woodrow's
the
bench, so
bench.
those stands
Yep.
were pushed out now.
Yep, I watched it. I watched it night before last. I pulled it up on TV and watched it. And yeah, you're right. It was a pretty heavy crowd there too. So, people kind of letting down their guard a little bit, and I think that's that's part of the problem. I mean, we're cases wise and percentage of infection rate, all that's just as high as it has been. I mean, it's. I heard this morning we have a 3.7% infection rate. That's back when this all started, the governor said if we get above 3% again, we're shutting down again. That's how bad they considered 3%. Now it's 3.7, almost 4%, and we're still easing up everything. And it's happening all over the country. It's not just here. So you wonder, is it going to affect? I mean, it's going to get you eventually, and people think they can avoid it. We know for a fact that you cannot. I mean, we went all, at my work, we went all year. We never missed a day's work, and then suddenly a week and a half ago, 2 people came down with it. Just that quick. Oak Hill's basketball team.
Yeah, that was that was a tough 2 weeks.
Yeah, cruising along just fine, and all of a sudden, 7 or 8 players have had it. And it's incredibly contagious, and having everybody in school at the same time. Been saying it all along. I'm not sure what everybody expected was going to happen, but you knew it was coming. So anyway, we hope we can get through. We'll quit talking about that now. I'm tired of talking about it. I'm tired of
talking about some games.
Yeah, let's talk about games. One more thing, if we have time, we're going to talk about something else going on. We've got the North-South All-Star Football Classic coming up. We've got some local players be participating in that. So we want to mention that and talk about that if we get time. And I hope to get Bob Mullet or somebody like that on the air.
Okay.
I'd like to get Mullet on here and talk to him a little bit. And I'm sure that would be more than entertaining. I might have to leave a whole hour for him. Because you can ask him one question, he'll take off and run with it, and we'll never get back on. We'll have to interrupt him. But hopefully we can get him on to talk about that. We're also coming up here in a couple of weeks, we're going to have Tex Williams on. Coach Williams going to get on and talk about the museum that they have over at Beckley. I'm going over on the 24th. He's going to take me on a little tour. Let me check it out, and then he's going to be on the show to talk about it a little bit. So that's a really cool place, and we'll talk about that some more later on. You ought to go there if you get a chance. So he's done a great job over there and got tons of stuff in there. It's so interesting. You could spend days in there looking at all the stuff he has. Anyway, that's some of the stuff we'll be talking about. Of course, we'll have Rusty Udy on with us. Rusty in his segment, Rusty Nails It. Rusty gets on, talks about everything he sees going on around the area, and gives us his expertise on all that. Also, we're going to talk about some scores, but Dave, we want to talk a little bit about last night's ball game between the Red Devils and the Flying Eagles from Woodrow Wilson. Red Devils just couldn't quite hit the shots when they needed to.
Yeah, that first half, the offense was rolling pretty good, and our defense probably wasn't as strong.
Right.
Then it kind of flip-flopped.
Right.
And but we kind of talked to the kids today. When you get into a tough game like that, where Woodrow was obviously they were longer than us, even though we're pretty long, but we're not as big as them. The little things catch up to you a little bit, and I thought there was a few little things that we can definitely improve on. We addressed it today and worked on today. So, and we got to turn it right around. We can't let it dwell, and because we have to make a trip to Bluefield tomorrow.
That's right. Yep, you can't dwell on it. Yep, and Bluefield's not a bad team. Had a close game with them here. Be close, and last night, like you said, some little things that I saw. I know you guys saw them too, and that we need to improve on. And then the fact that we just could not hit a shot down the stretch. We had some good looks, and we had some shots that we typically make, and we just missed them. Well, and that's going to happen.
I think I read in the paper today, Steve Keenan was at the game last night. I think we went 1 for 12 in the third quarter.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
And we won, and the thing was, we won the third quarter.
Right.
And
because they only scored, I think, 3 or 4 points.
Yeah, it wasn't a whole lot, and
I think they had 42 at halftime, and I think they were at 45.
Yeah, it was only a 3-point game going to the fourth quarter.
Yep.
But hats off to Woodrow. I mean, they made that. They won the game.
Yeah.
They won the game.
Yeah, they did.
And it was a big game. That was definitely that's a rival. That was the first time I ever went against Woodrow in basketball. dealing with the Oak Hill Beckley rivalry,
Right.
especially with basketball, and that was a sectional opponent. And, so hopefully we'll probably see him here in a couple weeks, or or East or Princeton. We haven't seen Princeton yet. So
the Woodrow Oak Hill game used to be. I mean, that was one of the premier games, and we used to talk about it. And it's part of the reason why they end up changing the way they do sectionals is because every year we had Woodrow and Oak Hill playing in the sectionals. That's two of the better teams in the state.
It's just like the two of the coaches, the head coach and the assistant coach.
Yep.
They were probably the second. They were two, and that was when Woodrow had Tamar and Jamel.
Yep.
So,
And again, that's why they changed the format a little bit to try to keep that from happening, because those two were going at it every year. One of them was always getting knocked out, and that was one of your better teams in the state.
Yeah.
One or first or second best team in the state, but only one of them could advance. So that's why they kind of changed that a little bit. But anyway, I thought we did pretty good last night.
Yeah.
It was 42, 34, 36 something at halftime. I remember it's 32.
They were upset. It was 38-32. We kind of made a couple mistakes right there in the last. They scored four. They scored 4 points in the last 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And,
so they go up like that, and then we come back out. Hold on just a minute, Dave. Got a question here from an audience.
All right.
I'll help you out there. I don't know anything about it. So.
Had a bowling question there.
Yeah, she said, I got a ball stuck in the wrong alley. I threw it down the wrong way.
She thinks you're the GM over here.
I guess she thinks I'm the bowling man. I'm like, okay. Not sure what to tell her there. I should have told her, run down there and get it. Anyway, it was a good game, a good entertaining game. Like I said, they scored those 4 points right before half, and then come out and y'all won that quarter again, going 1 for 12. And I don't think the fourth quarter was a whole lot better, because we just couldn't, especially about the last half of the fourth quarter, the last 4 minutes of the game, we just could not make a shot. And that's going to happen. I mean, you're going to miss shots, but they were bigger, they were faster, they were stronger. They were big.
The simple thing is that they made a couple more plays in the week.
That's right.
And they deserve to win the game.
That's exactly right. Yep, they did. It's a good one. All right, we're already getting behind here, jabbering along.
Yeah.
So let's get us a quick break in. When we come back, we're going to let you know who our athlete of the week was. Then we're going to go over Coach Tom Sears' discussion about the West Virginia Hometown Invitational Tournament that is being played tonight and tomorrow night, and we'll give you all the details on that. It's a tournament that I'm very fond of, and I have a lot of hope for it. I hope it keeps on keeping on. We're into like 11 years now, so I hope it keeps up. So we'll be back. We're going to talk about the Athlete of the Week and the West Virginia Hometown Invitational Tournament. Greg Crist and Dave Gorby coming to you live from Pinheads Bowling Alley here on Jones Avenue in Oak Hill. Awesome place. Stay with us. We'll be back after these messages. Welcome back to Courtside with Coach Crist. I'm Greg Crist, along with Dave Gorbick, coming to you tonight from the Pinheads Bowling Alley, 617 Jones Avenue right here in Oak Hill. And a pretty neat place. Like we said at the beginning of the show, if you get a chance to come out, you want to do a little family thing. Bowling's always a fun thing to do. The little ones are out here bowling like crazy right now.
Oh, yeah.
And also a good place just come and eat. They got some really good food here. Got some good cold beverages. So come on in and partake. It's a neat place. And, again, we like to try to support our local businesses here. So if any of you guys out there that have a business like for us to come and do the show from there, we don't take up a whole lot of room. We don't bother anybody. And we don't put anybody on TV unless they want to be on there. So give us a yell, and we'll see about getting you on. So, again, we appreciate Pinheads for allowing us to do this. And, again, neat place. Come on out and check it out. I talked to Tom Sears just yesterday and today about the West Virginia Hometown Invitational Tournament. That's a tournament that we started. I was still coaching, and we started this tournament. The goal was to start a tournament for our small rural schools all over the state to give them a feel of what it would be like to play in an actual big-time tournament. Yeah. And that was our goal to begin with. And, that was before the class changes. And, our sentiment was, a lot of these teams never get to experience, the state tournament, and a lot of these small rural schools, they don't get to experience that excitement of the state tournament. I was fortunate enough to get to go, as a head coach 3 times, as assistant coach probably 3 or 4 times. So I was fortunate enough I got to go a lot. And it is an experience that I wish everybody could get a chance to enjoy.
I remember my first time is when I was a ball boy for my stepdad when he was at Valley.
Yep.
And, that was one of my, let's just say dreams to be the next dream was to be a player, and unfortunately that never happened.
Yep.
And now I've been there 4 times as an assistant coach, and it's just
it's a great experience.
It's a great experience.
That's what we tried to do was we tried to put this tournament together so that
I remember that the thing was this has been going on 10 years.
It's been a while, yeah.
I remember I was in that meeting and I think that was right about the time Mount Hope closed.
Right.
So we never got in it, but I remember playing it when I was at Fayetteville. But I remember being there at the start of it.
Yep. Yeah, so our goal was to get these teams at these smaller single A schools, public schools, in a tournament that was had a good atmosphere and all that. While I was involved, we always did the tournament, the finals. The way we played it out was everybody had games, for over a 3 or 4 week period, and then it culminated with one weekend, and that was your championship. And every team in the tournament played on that Friday and Saturday. So everybody got to play in the big arena. We did it over at Summersville for a number of years. We moved to Robert C. Byrd High School a couple years ago.
What happened? I guess it was probably snow. What that year I was with Fayetteville. Yeah. What happened? Why was it Midland Trail?
We got snow, and Fayette County wouldn't let their teams come.
I couldn't remember.
Everybody else's teams came except Fayette County.
I remember we played Pocahontas County over at Midland Trail. I remember that.
Yep. Fayette County wouldn't let their teams come, and Fayette County schools were the closest schools to the arena of all of them. We had teams there from East Hardy and everywhere else, and but Fayette County wouldn't let them come. So that was one tough year there with the weather. We've been lucky to avoid the weather last several years. This year's changed a little bit because of COVID. Robert C. Byrd's not able to host it, so I asked Tom all about that, so he filled us in. The first question I asked him was what his title was with the organization. Tom is the treasurer for the HIT, and he is the tournament director. He's been the director of the tournament for the last 5 years, and he does a great job. I know, he did it up at Robert C. Byrd, and it came off without a hitch. Everything ran smoothly. And he does a tremendous job directing this thing, and he's all in, understands the purpose, and his kids. He's got a pretty good team this year, but they, for the most part, they don't get that opportunity very often. So, he's all in on this thing and does a great job with it. And but again, and we always try to tell everybody we're not. we're not having this for the bad teams. Just, we don't want everybody to think, oh, well, it's all these teams that are bad. They can't win. That was not what we were saying. We're saying, you may have a really good team. I had some really good teams that went up against Charleston Catholic and couldn't win.
That's why I remember, when it was started, that was when Sydney was in school. And
right.
Like I said, you had some pretty good team. And you went, was it Sydney senior year, y'all won a game down Charleston?
Yeah. They won a game, yeah.
I remember Coach Barnhart's teams. St. Mary's is double A, so I guess they're not in it anymore.
Yeah.
But I mean, Coach Barnhart has always had a good team with St. Mary's.
Right.
I remember him being in it.
Yep. Yeah, and a couple of years there, we had a pretty loaded field in that thing, and it was getting better. Then they changed the classes, and I talked to Tom about that as well. This makes the 11th year for the HIT tournament. Like you said, it's been going on 10 years. This will be year number 11. And, I asked him to explain the format. They changed it up just a little bit this year. They went with a 3-game format. The teams were divided up into pods, and then they have 2 pods in 2 divisions. So we got a Division 1 and a Division 2. Okay. The Division 1 are typically your bigger single-A schools, Greenbrier West, Clay Battelle, people like that. Division 2, your smaller schools, Meadowbridge, Harmon, Payton City. And they divided them up in 2 divisions and then 2 pods in each division. And you try to advance through your pod and then come out and play in the championship at the end. The coaches submitted their information about their teams. Then the membership, all the membership of the teams, they voted on each team. And the way it was supposed to work out this year was each team was supposed to get a home game, which we always tried to do that, make sure everybody got a home game. If they didn't get a home game, we'd pay for their buses and things like that, so it wouldn't hurt them. We didn't want anybody to be financially strapped.
I think that's why. I think we didn't get to. I think we played at Richwood and lost, and Tigers Valley played at home, and that's why Tigers Valley. That's probably why Tigers Valley came to us.
Right.
From what I remember.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And I know. In some of my discussions with Brian Parsons, it was, we had to pay for buses on these long trips, and I'm like, no, you don't. We pay for the buses on it. So I don't know what the next excuse was, but they just didn't like it. They didn't want to play it. I'm not sure what happened there, but everybody sometimes gets that bad feeling over something. I know Mann was in it one year, and he lost every game he played in. I think he played 3 games. He lost all 3 of them. So he was ticked off and said he wasn't coming back. So his was hurt feelings because he couldn't win.
Yeah.
Midland Trail beat him that year. I remember that. After the first 2 pod games, then the teams compete on the finals weekend. I told him, tell us about the this year's finals weekend. Of course, he said, this year's been different for everybody. Same's true for the HIT tournament. They got the finals, normally hold it at Robert C. Byrd for the last several years. It's always worked out great. Bird's a great host. I've been up there a couple times when Robert C. Byrd was hosting. Unfortunately, because of COVID, they weren't able to do it. They had some scheduling conflicts and that sort of thing. And then this condensed winter sports schedule, making it hard on teams to play any extra games other than what they normally play. So they're going to hold the finals this year at South Harrison High School. And, Tom says tickled to host it, and I know he'll do a great job with it up there. So it's going to be at South Harrison. It starts tonight. There's actually a game tonight. The protocols will be in place. They're allowing each team 100 spectators, and he said that way they'll know that they'll be able to properly social distance in the gym with that limited number of spectators. Some teams obviously won't bring that many because they'll be traveling so far. Yeah. But that at least gives them the opportunity to get 100 people in if they can, and still maintain the social distance. 2 games already been canceled. We talked about people getting canceled out. There's been 2 games canceled already. One of them was scheduled for tonight. I think Harmon. I forget the other 2 teams. Somebody in that 3-team group had a COVID issue. So 2 teams actually had COVID issues. So they had to drop out. Weren't allowed to play. So they had to cancel a game tonight. But South Harrison does play tonight. I asked him if they were going to try to expand the number of teams. He said they're always looking for teams to join the HIT. It's a great way of putting a small town basketball on display. The best of West Virginia, he says. We have teams from all over the state, always wanting somebody to join. Anybody wants to join should join, and I'm telling you now, they won't be sorry because it's a really neat tournament. You get to play teams you've never played before. You get to go places you haven't been before. That's what I always like about it. You got to travel so much. I asked him if the new class system where they broke it up, one of the reasons we did it was because we always had to face the private schools in the state tournament. So one of the reasons we did it was to kind of eliminate that issue for everybody. I asked him if this new class system, I think this was kind of an answer for that, if it had impacted the hit in any way. Of course, he said it had. The biggest way was that they lost several teams because they moved from Class A to Class AA. So obviously they're going to lose some teams. And then teams are, with this new setup, people are trying to schedule sectional opponents. They want to play teams that are in their section and in their region. So again, with this new classification, that makes maybe travel be more of an issue. So it may eliminate some, some spaces that they had for games previously that they don't have now. So it's affected in that way. And again, the teams, moving from single A to double A, that's the biggest thing that they faced so far. And like you said, we've had great membership. Everybody represents great schools. I've been in a lot of the meetings with a lot of these guys, and they are all super, and they are all focused on doing good stuff for the kids. And like I said, we attended many meetings with a lot of them, and I made friends and people I would have probably never known, and it's just been a good thing all the way around, good for everybody really. And again, South Harrison plays tonight. They play at 8 o'clock, and then the winner of their game, and I think it's South Harrison and maybe East Harding. Let me look at the schedule here real quick. I think I've got it. Tulsa and South Harrison. They play tonight. Then the winner of that will play Greenbrier West in the championship game. Greenbrier West already advanced to the championship game. So tonight you got Tulsa, South Harrison at 8 p.m. This is all South Harrison High School. And that's the second round of the Division I pod play. Saturday, you've got 100 versus Harmon. That's your third place game. Your Division II pods playing for the fifth place. Then at 2:30, Clay Battelle taking on Tulsa South Harrison loser. So whoever loses the game tonight will play Clay Battelle tomorrow at 2:30. Then they'll take a break, clean the gym, sanitize everything. At 5 o'clock tomorrow night, Riverview will take on Meadowbridge for the Division II championship game. And then Tulsa South Harrison winner versus Greenbrier West for the Division I championship game. So we got two local schools in the championships, Greenbrier West and Meadowbridge. That's the two different divisions. Meadowbridge in, of course, Division II, Greenbrier West in Division I. So that's the way that thing's set up. And again, it's an awesome tournament. It's a great idea. It's a great concept. And it's a lot of fun. And like I said, I always enjoy playing because we got to play different teams. We got to travel to places we had never traveled to before. Again, made a lot of friends, people I probably would have never known because we were playing teams from all over the state, having these meetings with people from all over the state, people I may have never known otherwise. I got to know during this. We also, Tom was kind enough to play along with us on our Shoot to Three segment, and to remind people what that is. Anybody we interview, at the end of the interview, we have 3 questions for them, and we give them 30 seconds to answer those questions. And if they don't, they face a myriad of bad things for their punishment. And Tom agreed to keep his own time, 30 seconds to answer the 3 questions.
Yeah.
All right, so question number 1, and we asked this to last week. We asked last week to Greater Beckley head coach Justin Arvon. Yep. And this was one of the questions we asked him, and I thought he gave such a funny answer that I wanted to ask it again. And that is, what is a body part you would pick to lose if you had to lose one? Of course, Justin Arvon said his left foot, which I never quite figured that one out yet. Anyway, Tom Sears said, and he answered this within 10 seconds, he said, I would give up a finger, but only one on my left hand. I still shoot with my right hand. There you go. Don't want to mess up his shooting hand. Yeah. Next question for Tom was, if you could be a fly on the wall, who would you want to listen to and slip in on and listen to him? He says he would like to listen to Bobby Huggins because he's certain the conversation would not only be informative, but also highly entertaining. Pretty good answer.
Yeah,
pretty good answer.
That's not bad.
He had 8 seconds left, and he said, the next question was, what is his most useless talent? And he said he has every episode of the Office series memorized verbatim. So his talent is memorizing episodes of The Office. So Tom Sears kind enough to play along with us, and he did get it in 30 seconds. He went 29.8 seconds and was able to get all of his answers in just in the nick of time. So he don't face any punishment, and he gave some good answers, and I appreciate Tom. I know he was really busy this week. He said he had all kinds of stuff going on, and but he was kind enough to take some time to answer those and play along with our goofiness a little bit. We appreciate Tom for doing that with us. That was a lot of fun. Real quickly, Dave, I want to hit some scores from last night. Local scores. You know, we try to keep it local and not always. We don't always have local teams playing, so sometimes that's kind of hard. But anyway, I'm gonna go through all the scores because there weren't that many last night. Cabell Midland beat Huntington 49-42. Notice there's a lot of low-scoring games this year too.
Yes. We talked about that as a coaching staff there. They're in quarantine. We were talking about that. We didn't know if it was kind of only a couple weeks to get ready for the season, or is it just
practice time?
We really haven't figured that out, but I mean,
I'm gonna say practice time. You just people haven't been together enough to really get fluid. Now some teams are scoring. I did see somebody had 90. I think it was.
It still tends to happen, but like last night, it was what was it, 53-48.
Yeah.
I mean,
and a good game too.
Yeah.
Charleston Catholic knocked off Notre Dame 58-42. Clay Battelle 73. Valley Wetzel 38. Gilmer County 55. Tyler Consolidated 46. Greenbrier West, they knocked off Summers County 86-35. Let's go on down the list here and get some. Nicholas County lost again. They lost to Herbert Hoover 86-47. See if there's any more of the local ones that we need to look at. And then, of course, Webster County, they defeated Greater Beckley 71-59. Greater Beckley struggling a little bit, but I didn't think they would struggle.
Webster County's kind of turned it on this past week and a half.
Yep, Webster County is good, and they're showing that. Also, I want to mention. I don't want this to get away from me. I want to mention just mainly again for our locals, the sectional tournament for the girls starts next week on Tuesday. This coming week, Oak Hill plays at Woodrow Wilson. That's at 7 p.m. Tuesday night. Princeton plays at Greenbrier East the same night. Then on Thursday, they'll have their championship game for the sectional. In Class AAA Region 3, it's the Section 1, Independence and Pikeview. Monday night, Shady Spring Westside Monday night. And then Wednesday, they'll have their championship game. Class AAA Region 3, Section 2, Wednesday night, Nicholas at Sissonville, Midland Trail at Herbert Hoover. Those games are Wednesday, April 14th, and then their championship is Saturday, April 17th. Class AA, I'm looking to see if we have local teams. I don't want to go through all this list, but at least cover our local guys. Meadowbridge and Webster, Greenbrier West and Richwood, they play Tuesday night, April 13th, Class A, Region 3, Section 2, and their championship's Thursday. So Meadowbridge, Webster, Greenbrier West, Richwood is Tuesday night. Thursday night, Tuesday night is Oak Hill, Woodrow, Princeton, Greenbrier East. See what else we have. That's it on Tuesday night. So make sure you get out and support the girls' teams again. Their sectional tournament, they're trying to get started, and hopefully they can get through it and get a state tournament in. We hope they can. Anyway, that's the hope. All right, we're going to take us a quick break. When we come back, we will have Rusty Udy on the line. Rusty will be doing his Rusty Nails It segment and see what Rusty's been up to this past week. I saw him last night at Oak Hill game, so I know he watched that one, but we'll see what else he's been up to this past week. If we get a chance, we'll go over the AP polls and both boys and girls if we get an opportunity. I don't know if we're liable to run out of time here, but we'll see what we can do. You're listening to Courtside with Coach Crist. I'm Greg Crist along with Dave Gorby. We're coming to you tonight from Pinheads Bowling Alley here on Jones Avenue in Oak Hill. We appreciate them allowing us to come into their business, and we appreciate you listening to us. So stay with us. We'll be back after these messages. Welcome back to Courtside with Coach Crist. I'm Greg Crist, joined by Dave Gorby, coming to you tonight from Pinheads Bowling Alley here on Jones Avenue, 617 Jones Avenue to be exact, in Oak Hill. Get an opportunity, you need to stop on in here. Got some fine cuisine, a lot of fun, a lot of bowling going on. You don't have to be a bowler. Come in here, Dave. You can just come in here and eat, have you a cold brew or a cold soda, whatever you'd like. And if you want to bowl a little bit, you can bowl a little bit. And like I said, now that I see these bumpers they're putting up on the alley along the gutters there, and they got a blockage to keep you from throwing gutter balls, I think I'm all in.
Yeah, like I told you, I mean, that might be the strength of my game right there, is the bumpers.
Yeah, I think I could hit some ricochet shots.
Yeah.
Anyway, we are at the point in time in the show where we do our segment called Rusty Nails It. And we're going to talk to Rusty Udy, of course, about all the things going on. I think Dave might have something he wants to check in with you about, Rusty.
What do you think, Rusty? Do you need the bumpers or not the bumpers on bowling?
Well,
you used to be a good bowler. Yeah, you used to be.
There you go.
I don't know why.
I wasn't a standout, but I can bowl a little bit.
I don't know why I know this, but I have seen you bowling before, and I don't know when or where, but I've seen you bowl before. And I've seen you golf, and I've seen you bowl. And you do both of them pretty daggone good.
Yeah, not too bad for a big guy, I guess.
Yeah, you do great, man. Yep. All right.
This is live long drive champion right here.
Yeah.
I remember that.
We are moving right along in the basketball season. We're trying to. We're still getting games canceled. A lot of COVID issues going on. We had some games canceled tonight. We've had some teams actually shut it down till sectionals. Tell us, Rusty, what you've been up to and what you've been seeing last week.
Well, I did get a chance to watch a lot of basketball, the New River CPC Invitational. So I got even though I've seen them on TV, I got a first-hand view of James Monroe, and I'm telling you, those boys are pretty solid. I mean, they beat up on Greenbrier West pretty good, and then they turned around and handled Webster County pretty good. And Webster County's got a good basketball team too. Yep. So, those guys are legit down there. They're undefeated for a reason.
Right.
So, got to see Morgantown for the first time, and they're the number one team in Class Quad A. And, you could definitely see why they're one of the top teams in the state. There's a really good chance that they could be your 4A state champions.
Right.
So, I mean, that's I don't know too many teams they've got it all. I mean, they got the bigs, they got the guards, and definitely have some shooters. So, Coach Tallman's bunch is pretty solid. So I think they're going to be pretty good. Other than that, I just kind of stuff I'm watching on TV. I'm watching Fairmont Senior and Robert C. Byrd right now. That's the two top teams in Class AAA. And that game's at the half, and Fairmont Senior's up 33-32. So that's a really good game. It's two really good teams. I think Shady's a team that can compete with them. The Tigers are really good this year. They have a legitimate shot of making a run at the state title. So, those three teams are pretty solid. Nitro's really good in AAA, sorry. So, that's all the classes should be pretty good.
Yep.
And we've actually got teams in our area that possibly can make a run at a state title. I think Greenbrier East is a little better than maybe teams thought they were.
Yep.
Provided Bailey Coles can stay healthy, I think they got a pretty good shot at getting to Charleston too.
Yep. Yeah, I've watched them play. Of course, they played Oak Hill, and I was extremely impressed. Not just Bailey Coles, but they got some other kids that can flat out play.
Right.
Very athletic.
The Gabbard kid can make shots.
Yep. Gabbard.
That's one thing about him.
And he has. I guess his brother plays. Younger brother. He's gonna be good.
His younger brother's out right now.
Yeah. He's a good little player.
Yeah.
So they've got.
But they're solid.
They're definitely solid.
They're really good.
What's the soccer kid's name? Seams. He's just all over. Yeah, he's all over the floor all the time.
Yeah, I watched him a couple times in middle school, and you could tell that kid was going to be special. And he's a heck of a soccer player too. Yeah. Maybe even a better soccer player than he is a basketball player.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We were talking a little bit earlier before we called you. We were talking about several teams we've noted have already called the dogs for the rest of the regular season, and we were just curious. I think Morgantown University, Polka, Greenbrier East. couple others that have closed the doors until sectional tournament time, and we didn't know if it was COVID related or if teams were just saying, "Hey, we're going to shut it down, stay safe for the next week and a half, and practice and get ready for the sectional." And
that's a real dilemma.
Yeah, it is. Really that's what me and Dave were talking about.
I mean, if you especially with the contact tracing, because that's a 2-week deal, and really when Polka's issue was COVID related,
right? Yeah,
and so they just kind of made the sectionals under the gun,
right?
So you really kind of rolling the dice. It's like we need to play because we need to practice, we need the game experience. But yet you get in one of those contact tracing situations and you don't even get a chance to play.
Yeah. That's exactly what we were saying. And I said, you may, if you're a Morgantown, for example, and they're probably looking at, hey, we got a chance to win a state championship. We don't want to take any chances. But then who knows that they might play their first game and get upset, So then, their kids, instead of getting to play, 5 or 6 games here in the last 2 weeks, they get to play one game. So that's, and I said, looking at that from a player's parent, I would prefer them play the games, and because you don't know how long you're going to last in a section, especially in our section. And you got Greenbrier East, Woodrow, and it's a tough one, So
well, we've seen some weird ones too. I mean, once you get, and I've tried to explain that to people, it's just different when you're playing a regular season game. You got another game a couple days away or 3 or 4 days away.
Right.
When you play sectionals, you got no more games if you lose.
Right.
And people get a little more tight. People start playing better than you think.
That's right.
It's just different. It's just really different basketball.
What was the one that was like 20 years ago? It was like Mountain View and Baileysville, right? Baileysville?
No, I think it was Baileysville and I want to say Big Creek, but I'm not positive.
Baileysville was number 1, though.
Yep.
But, it was a huge shock because, Baileysville just beat them like a few days earlier by 1 million. I mean, they'd pummeled them.
Yep.
So you just never know.
We played Baileysville that year in Mount Hope in our tournament over there, and they were good. we were stunned when they got
really
beat.
Good. So.
But it's just like we were talking about the HIT tournament here earlier. Dave and I when I was coaching and we were in the HIT tournament. We played in the Big Atlantic Classic. This was the team that made the state tournament. We played in the Big Atlantic Classic on Wednesday night, and we played Buffalo Putnam. We beat Buffalo. They don't go by Buffalo Putnam, but just so everybody knows.
Well, there's no more Buffalo Wayne. That's for the youngsters out there.
So we played Buffalo in the Big Atlantic Classic on Wednesday night, beat them by 32 points. Mm-hmm. We played them at Midland Trail on Friday night and got beat 74-72 on a buzzer beater. So
exactly,
you don't know what's going to happen. I mean, anything can happen. And incidentally, that was probably the best thing to happen to my team, because then we learned a valuable lesson, and we walked through our section and region and made state tournament. So that was a valuable lesson.
I've talked to a number of coaches, and even when you were coaching, I mean the phrase has always been, they're 16 and 17-year-old kids.
That's
you never know what's going to happen. You never know what they're going to do.
That's right. And you don't know. I mean, anything. And I did it long enough to know that anything could happen either way. I mean, you might be on the good side, you might be on the bad side, but stuff happens.
Right.
Stuff happens. What do you got? What do you got? You going to any games over the weekend, or what are you doing this weekend? Watching lacrosse or what?
Kind of watching this one. I've been down on my back a little bit, so I've just been kind of being lazy and watching games on TV and listening to them on the radio and.
That's one
following things that way.
Maybe the Masters. Would you watch the Masters this weekend?
Well, there's probably a good chance I've tuned into that just a little bit. Yeah.
That's one. If you try to find the silver lining in this pandemic, I guess there's a whole lot more games being streamed now on TV that you can watch.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
than you ever could before.
Watched, last night I actually listened to the Woodrow O'Keel game, and then I watched Greater Beckley and Webster County after Webster County last night. So,
right.
It used to be if you didn't get out and go to games, you were just out of luck.
Yeah.
But now, even in bad situations, you can still watch a lot of games.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. There's a lot of them on. I know my son and another player, Jacob Perdue from Oak Hill, they wanted to watch Woodrow and Greenbrier East 2 nights ago, so we just pulled it up on TV, sat there and watched it on a 55-inch screen, HD picture.
That's right.
And you can see it probably better than you can sitting in the bleachers. But I still like to go to the games, but this is good.
I do too.
It's good that at least we're getting them streamed now, and we've moved into the modern age here, I guess. That's probably
my back like sitting in my chair better than the bleachers. That's for sure.
Absolutely. That's why I haven't been to a football game WU for several years. I can see it a whole lot better on that big TV, and I can get up. I can make it to the bathroom and back in about a minute and a half instead of having to climb up a set of bleachers. So anyway, that is one of the advantages of this. I think it's something that's you're probably going to see continue. I would think, and even get better. We do a lot of it, and we do it just for the fun of it, and just try to get some recognition to the kids out there. But a lot of schools are doing it now, and like I said, that's one little silver lining to this pandemic cloud that's been hovering over us for so long. So
no doubt, yeah.
All right, Rusty, we appreciate you joining us again, and we look forward, like always, every week to talking to you and find out what's going on. Hopefully, as we move toward the spring sports, this pandemic thing will calm down a little bit, and we'll be able to get out and see a whole bunch of stuff and talk about it as the spring and summer rolls on. So we appreciate you joining us again here on the Courtside, man. You're always a valuable asset to us.
Always glad to talk to you guys. I appreciate you having me on.
All right, Rusty. We will talk to you next week, buddy. Thank you so much.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
All right. It's Rusty Udy with his Rusty Nails It segment. And again, Rusty goes to some games now. Like I said, his back's been hurting him a little bit, but he gets out there and watches. He watches games. And I think it's great for people like him that you kick back and watch it on TV if you can't get out and watch them.
Yep.
Like you always say, if you can't be an athlete, be an athletic supporter. So, all right, we'll take us a final break, and when we come up, we will come back. We'll wrap up everything we've done tonight, and we'll talk to you a little bit about what we got coming up here in the near future. So we hope you'll stay with us here on Courtside with Coach Crist. I'm Greg Crist. That's Dave Gorby. We'll be back after these messages. Welcome back to Courtside with Coach Crist, Greg Crist, along with Dave Gorby. One thing, and again, we get to going here talking and moving through stuff, and we forget things sometimes. And I meant in the first segment to give you our athlete of the week this week, the Geno's Pizza athlete of the week, and I failed to do that. So we want to make sure we do that now. Our Geno's Pizza athlete of the week this week is Logan Hatfield. Logan plays at Meadowbridge. And against Montcalm last week, Logan had 45 points and 13 rebounds.
Was he the one that Super Dave had his pick?
Yeah.
It was a football picture, wasn't it?
Yeah, the football picture of him, yeah. So Logan Hatfield from Meadowbridge, the Meadowbridge Wildcats. Logan is our athlete of the week. So we want to make sure we got that in there again. Logan will get Gino's Pizza, something from Tudors, and nice certificate, and gets his name mentioned to millions and millions of listeners out there tonight. So congratulations to Logan Hatfield, our Gino's Pizza athlete of the week. And we're getting messages here from Coach Jerry Robertson from over Greenbrier West. I'm not going to tell you what he said. I was teasing him. I said, we ain't finished yet, so we still got some time. We can say whatever we need to say here at the end. If you want to throw out a little challenge to South Harrison or Tulsa. And because that'll be his opponent tomorrow night in the HIT Championship. So, but we're not going to say anything like that. Jerry does a good job over there at Greenbrier West. Has an awful good basketball team, and wish them luck tomorrow. Meadowbridge too. Both our local teams, two of our local teams, playing in the HIT Championship tomorrow at South Harrison High School. Congratulations to both of those guys, and hopefully they'll go up there and win that thing. And I did have a question for Tom, and I scratched it out. I said, no, I'm not going to do it. I was going to ask him if he had any idea 10 years ago who won the first West Virginia Hometown Invitational Tournament.
I mean, if you're asking,
you know who it has to be, right?
I mean, I know who it is since you're asking.
That's right. The mighty Midlands Trail Patriots, 2011 pulled that baby out. I think that's what it was. 2010. I don't remember the year. Yeah. It might have been 2010. Okay, I think it's 2011. I think it was 11.
I think it was 11.
Yeah, it's probably the first year. Yeah. So, we won that thing. I make sure Jerry hears that too, so they'll know the history of this tournament. But anyway, good luck to those guys. Going up there tomorrow to South Harrison to play in the championship game. Meadowbridge and Greenbrier West playing in their respective pods, or their respective divisions rather, and going for the championship trophy up there. So good luck to both of them. And they were supposed to play each other tonight. Got canceled out. Obviously, some issues. Tell you what, this COVID thing is getting everybody right now, and it's worrisome because we're getting so close to the sectional tournament. And you hope it don't end up like a football mess that we had back in the fall. Hopefully that don't happen. We appreciate you listening again tonight. Want to make sure you tell everybody that if they want to watch, they can tune in on Roku or Facebook Live. And Courtside with Coach Crist has its own channel on Roku, has its own Facebook Live channel. So you can get on and watch either way there. If you live over in the Lewisburg area, you can watch on Suddenlink Channel 5. Make sure you spread the word and let everybody know that we're on the air with Courtside with Coach Crist. We want this to be a fun endeavor, and we like to have your participation. So send us a text, leave us a message on Facebook. If you got an Athlete of the Week nominee you want to put out there, if you got an idea for the show you'd like to put out there, feel free to throw it on there. We'd love to have it. And we appreciate, again, Pinheads Bowling Alley for having us tonight, Jones Avenue in Oak Hill. Great atmosphere here. Come over and get you some good food, get you a bowling game in or two. And, again, they got bumpers on the gutters, so couldn't be all bad. So come on over and enjoy the atmosphere and some good grub. Dave, appreciate you jumping.
I'm still looking at this pizza over here.
I know, man. I've been watching all this food go by. I'm like, yeah, that looks good. That looks good. I know Darren's wife had a sandwich here. I think he said it was like a calzone, but they called it a meat muffin. I said, man. I mean, that sounds good. All right.
We could intrude on this birthday party.
Yeah, they got cupcakes and everything else over here. So, all right, we're going to get out of here before we get in trouble. We appreciate you listening and watching again. We hope you enjoyed the show tonight. We look forward to bringing it to you again next week. We'll kind of let you know. We plan on doing it on Thursdays. Sometimes things happen, games happen, cancellations, remakes, makeup games, all that kind of stuff. So we never know for sure when we'll have it, but we'll let you know on the day we're going to have it. We'll advertise it on Facebook, Twitter, wherever, to let you know when the show's going to be. So we hope you'll join us in the future. And if you are joining us right now, make sure let your friends and neighbors know. We're on here every week, and we appreciate your support. Everybody have a great evening. We enjoy bringing this to you tonight. Courtside with Coach Crist, Greg Crist, and Dave Gorby. Good night, everybody.